Hey y'all, welcome back to A Dinosaur in the Library. This is Dawn and this is Vlogmas day 8. So today I'm going to be doing the book cake tag, and I was trolling around my favorite channels playlist trying to find some different tags maybe to do, or maybe get some ideas about what to do for the rest of Vlogmas, and I stumbled on this one on Jen Campbell's channel, and she did it in conjunction with the British Bake Off, and I had never watched this until recently, and they put a season up on Netflix and I watched it. Absolutely loved it. I'm kind of obsessed with cooking competition shows, so of course I loved it, but this is the first chance I've had to watch it, so I thought I would do the book cake tag. I found it at Jen Campbell's channel, but apparently it was originally done by Suddenly Lorna, and I will leave both of their channels down below so you can check them out if you would like. So I'll go ahead and get started. Question number 1, Self-Rising Flower, book that started slow but then picked up. So the very first time I read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, I wasn't sure I was going to make it through because the first couple of chapters were kind of slow, but I'm really glad that I pushed through because the rest of the book was amazing. Almost the same thing with More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. It wasn't really as slow. There was a little bit of slowness at the beginning, but I was still interested, and I would never have put this down. And it's an amazing book, but it definitely picks up. So this book is awesome. Please read. Definitely read. Go read. Seriously. Okay, question number 2, Butter, book with a really rich, intense plot. And for this I chose, well, I picked up Game of Thrones, but essentially the entire Song of Ice and Fire series. Obviously not all of them are out yet. George R.R. Martin, I'm looking at you. But this has a seriously intricate plot. There's all kinds of crap going on every time you turn around. There's 5 million different character point of views, all of which makes it an awesome series, but definitely rich. Okay, question number 3, Eggs, a book you had reservations about but actually really enjoyed. So the first one was The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. There was so much hype around it that I just really didn't know if I'd care for it, but I had to read it for my young adult class. I ended up reading it in one sitting and it freaking broke my heart, so yeah. And the second one actually is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This is another one where the hype kind of made me think I didn't want to read it, but when I finally picked it up, holy crap, I had to go immediately buy the next 2, and then Fairest hadn't come out at that point, and of course Winter hadn't, and I was freaking out. So seriously glad I went ahead and picked this up. Okay, the next book, Sugar, a sweet book, and I do not have a copy of this, but one of the first ones that came to mind was And Tango Makes 3 by Justin Richardson, and if for some reason you don't know, this is the true story, the picture book edition of a true story of 2 male penguins who hatched an egg and raised a baby in a zoo, and it is super duper sweet, and it will just warm your heart, and yeah, it'll give you a toothache from across the room. It's so sweet. The next is Icing, book that included all the things you enjoy in a book. And I have 2 for this, as I usually do. The first one is Libriomancer by Jim C. Hines. Books, magic, fantasy, librarians. Yeah. And then Map of Time by Felix J. Palma. Time travel, literary people as actual characters, and H.G. Wells. Yeah, I don't know what I have to say about this. If you've been here more than 5 minutes, you know. Once you say time travel or about books, I'm diving head first and coming up for air later. The next is, the last question. Sprinkles, book or series that you return to for a pick-me-up when you're down. And I picked up 2 for this as well. The first one is a perennial classic, and that is Roald Dahl's The BFG. This is, in fact, my very favorite Roald Dahl book. It is amazing. I love the BFG, and yeah, I will forever be glad that I picked this book up when I was little and that I still own it and can read it now. You should read this if you haven't, really. Just consider this whole video a list of books that Dawn would love to hand in a parcel to people. You should read them all. And the second one is Our Lady of the Lost and Found by Diane Chamberlain. I've talked about this once or twice before. This is a book I never hear anything about. And the last time I mentioned it, I sat and thought where I first found this book. And I remember I used to get these catalogs for the Quality Paperback Book Club back in like 2000, 2001. And I would order books from it because we were living out in the middle of nowhere with no bookstores. We had no internet. We didn't have anything we could, I mean, the closest bookstore was like 2 hours away. We had a library, but it was extremely small. So this was a huge thing for me to be able to order these books. And I happened to pick this one once. And because I'm fascinated by anything to do with religion, and I'm so glad that I read it because it's amazing. I've read it, I don't know how many times since that first time. And it remains just as awesome every time I read it. And yeah. So I would definitely recommend this for anyone who has not read it before. And that is all I've got for you guys today. Kind of a short video for me, but that's all that's there for the tag. And I hope to see you tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 9.